Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's section on 16 days of activism. And I'm glad to have Zita Zingani here with us today. She's the EU delegation to Zambia. Thank you for sparing your time this afternoon to share from your wealth of knowledge with our participants today. Hi, Zita.
Hi, Precious. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, so can you tell us more about yourself and the work you do?
Okay, sure thing. So, as you've introduced me already, I'm Zita Nyawazingani. That's my full name. I'm based in Lusaka, Zambia. I'm with the European Union delegation to Zambia and COMESA. I'm the IT specialist there. I'm a network engineer by profession, with a stronghold, of course, in networking, in governance, as well as cybersecurity. So I've been doing my work in IT, I span with 15 years of work experience. I've done several different certifications, of course, in security, in cybersecurity. I've done a master's program away from IT, which is in international relations and political
Ah,
science. And I deviated a bit there because of the environment that I work in. And at PhD level, I've joined both my computer science, which is my bachelor's, and my master's. And now I'm looking at how emerging technologies can aid third world countries to successfully industrialize. So I do a lot of publications as well. I lecture part-time in computer security as well as computer professional ethics. I'm with the National Institute of Public Administration, which is under the Office of the President. It's a university here in Osaka. And then I also lecture some master's students at Gideon Robert University on a distance basis. So in a nutshell, this pretty much covers a lot. It's a mouthful, I know, but
yeah,
yeah,
that's a
I
lot.
just want to give this background of where I'm coming from. Yeah, so I've worked
Yeah,
in different institutions, but mainly in the NGO world. I've been with the European Union for 6 years now. So prior to that, I worked with World Vision, as well as Under Vision Fund, as well as USAID as well. So I've been mainly inclined in the NGO world.
yeah, that's a lot of wealth of expertise span across different sectors. Thank you. So, we're talking about cyber violence because, when it comes to violence, most time we are thinking about physical violence because that one is obvious that people can see when someone experiences physical abuse. So when we talk about cyber violence, what does that mean to you?
So let's break it down first. I think I want to explain a bit on what cybersecurity is. Let's get it from there and then we move on to the violence aspect. And how do you know that this is cyber violence? So, cybersecurity basically is the art of protecting your computers, your mobile devices, your electronic systems. We're in a digital world now, and with the fourth revolution now, everything is pretty much digitized. Everything we do is related to electronic information security. So the cybersecurity aspect comes from that. And then we've seen a lot of abuse online where we find people are using a lot of violence, which is basically harmful words. We've seen videos being shared, pictures without the consent of the actual individuals. So cyber violence will come in so many forms, and you actually see from the first perspective is that the abuse, which may be in terms of stalking, it can be harassment, it can be abuse of words. We've seen women who cannot even speak out on social media because they've been abused a lot. They don't have a voice online. And this is what we're trying to get away from. And because of the social media that we have now, there are so many ways in which women are being violated online. And this is something that we need to speak about. And the perception is that you need to be an IT person to be able to protect yourself from some of these things, but which is not true. You need to understand that as long as you're online, you have an online presence, a digital footprint, you should be able to understand the basics and be able to protect yourself online as a girl, as a woman. And these are things that we need to talk about. And this is why we are here. So
Thank
how? look at
Okay.
that and have you come in so that I don't take thoughts. Yeah.
All right, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I like the perspective, like how you drew it from, because like, when we get like, oh, cybersecurity, I think in tech, and like, like for women, there's always like this roadblock to say, oh, techie and men and this, I don't want to be involved. So I like how like you're bringing out that it's so important, but from your perspective, why do you think that women and girls like should be equipped with like cybersecurity skills? Why is it relevant?
So it's relevant, one, because of course we are the most vulnerable, There are men out there who are just there to take advantage of young girls, especially. We've seen this a lot online where somebody is stalked. They're using a lot of what we call social engineering. So just to explain a bit, social engineering is the art of human manipulation, so to speak. This is where somebody actually tricks you into doing something. You think you're doing it because of another reason, but they've actually tricked you into doing something else. So you find that a lot of young women, even adults, young adults, are actually falling for this. Why are we the target? For obvious reasons. Women are we are very emotional beings, so to speak, and we tend to try and relate more to so many things, and that always disadvantages us because of our emotional being. We tend to be targets for most of these prey people that are online. And of course, because we don't want to speak out, there's a lot of social barriers that are gender biased to say women should not speak out on this, women should not do that, women should not do this. So it's very easy for a woman to be attacked online and not speak about it. And this is what we're trying to draw away from, to say, if you see something, if you say something, you need to speak out. If somebody is abusing you, is violating you, it's the same thing in a home. You get to your home, maybe you're married, maybe your brother, and unfortunately that happens, where you're actually physically abused or violated from a relative, from an uncle, from your husband. And we have women that are told, no, you cannot speak about this because you're going to cause an embarrassment to the family. And it's the same thing, that it starts from there, that it actually trickles to online presence where women are being abused. They are told so many things. Somebody sends you a direct message and they're saying so many things. In the office environment, we see that a lot as well. As a woman in technology, which is the minority, but it's good now that we're seeing a lot of women come up in the tech world. Prior to that, you always have to prove yourself as a woman. You always have to go an extra mile. You have to work harder. You have to prove yourself that you can actually do this job. And it also all trickles down from there. You make one mistake, you get a stern email from your boss, who is particularly a male most of the times. And this sits, that is also a part of cyber violence. And these are things that we're saying, let's speak out. You cannot be harassed anywhere you are as a woman, be it in a professional environment, in a social environment. You need to be able to speak out. And the good thing is that a lot of countries have now incorporated this, and there's a lot of cybersecurity laws that can actually protect not only women, but everybody at large, because this abuse is going across board. So, of course, now our bias is towards women and the young girls because we want to be able to teach them. And once you teach a woman, they always say, once you teach a woman, you've taught the entire nation. So this is where the bias is coming in. However, it doesn't take away from the boy child. When we are spreading information, when we are raising our children as women, these are things that we need to let them know about.
Thank you so much, Zita. Like, like you've mentioned, like the form of violence, like social engineering. We know phishing is there, revenge porn, and a lot happens within the online space. So what kind of skills, like, do you think that, I mean, you are an IT professional, what kind of skills, basic skills that you think that women can have to kind of like protect themselves within the digital space?
Okay. So there are several things that women can do. First of all, let us not be vulnerable. I'll target this from online dating, which has become very common in our day-to-day world. So we need to be very careful with what we are putting online, especially on a dating site. There's nothing wrong with going on a dating site as a woman because everybody's looking for a partner. And also our young girls, the teenagers, they are so active on social media. What can they do to protect themselves? One, let's all be mindful of what we're posting online. First of all, if you don't know what is online about you, Google yourself and see what is there. Control the narrative of what is online. If you see something that you posted that should be private, it will show you on Google where you need to go to actually change that or pull down that post. That gives you a control. Two, you need to be mindful of what sites you're joining and what you put out there. I know there's TikTok now where people are exposing a lot of themselves, and this is something we need to understand as women. Even when we go out there, people are profiling you. You don't know who's online because these accounts are public. So something you could do is if you're there and you want to post, make it private so that everybody on your social media is somebody known to you. But if you're actually using this as trying to get an income out of it, you need to be very, very careful with what you're posting out there. You might be doing these videos for fun, but you will grow up and then you will look for a job. And this is the digital footprint that we'll go back to look at to say, is this person stable? What can they do? All these things. You start from there. When you're cautious about what you're posting online, then it gives you control. We look at the use of strong passwords. We're not even using passwords anymore. We're calling them passphrases. What is a passphrase in this case? It's where you use a statement. Maybe instead of using a password like oranges78 with an exclamation mark, you could use a statement to say, I love oranges. If you want to add your year of birth or 2023, you do it. Where it says I, you could shift that to an exclamation mark. Or where it says the or, you can use a zero. So you need to know how you're changing this so that you make a strong passphrase so that it's very difficult for somebody to go online. We've seen a lot of Facebook accounts being hacked. We've seen one person sending 3, 4, 5 friend requests. Why? Because their account was compromised. So it all starts from there. The other thing you need to ensure is that you have at least two-factor authentication. How do you do that? A lot of social media sites are offering you that. Once, apart from using your password, which you use a passphrase in this case, you need to ensure that you attach that either to your email account to authenticate every time you log in or to your mobile number. So these options are there and everybody just needs to use them. When you have two-factor authentication, if somebody manages to bypass your password or your passphrase, it's very difficult for them to get past the next authentication factor. And I'll tell you for a fact as a professional, if you use a passphrase, it will take a while for somebody to actually hack in. And it's always advisable that change your password every 6 months. So by the time even somebody who has software to run different passwords on your account, by the time they are probably getting a nag of what you're using, you've changed it. So always get into the habit of changing your password every 6 months. And the question will come, how am I supposed to keep hold of all these passwords that I keep on changing? There are password managers that you can use. So there are several that you can find online, and you also need to be mindful of the password managers that you are using. Why? Because some of these can be attached to people that are trying to hack into your network and do other things. So there are a few of them that you can find online where you can actually store your passwords. Don't store your passwords in your phone because once somebody steals your phone, they have access to all your information. Furthermore, the way we save our family members, our partners, our spouses in the phone, we are also exposing them. And this is something that we tend to take advantage of. If you save your husband, I know it's not romantic to save your husband by their full name, but then if somebody steals your phone or gets into your phone, it's very difficult for them to actually contact somebody and create some fake emergency because you're compromising your security as well. So you need to be careful. All these passwords that we use for our online banking, our keynotes that we use on our cards, all these are things that should not be saved in a phone. Please invest in a password manager. If you can't afford one, you could look for one. There are some that are free online. A simple Google search will sort that out for you. Or alternatively, you could back up some of these passwords in your email online in the cloud. And you need to ensure as well that you're changing your password to your email all the time. You could have one folder that you save on your drive, where you actually refer to as your passwords. And it shouldn't be very difficult. You know, sometimes you're changing your password. You could keep the same passphrase, but you just keep changing the characters of the passphrase. That is good enough. So these are things that we need to be mindful about. So the other thing that I wanted to touch on aside from this is that stay informed. You know, you can't be boxed and thinking, oh no, there's Facebook, oh no, there's TikTok, there's Instagram. Stay informed. Keep abreast with what is happening online. There's a lot of AI technology that both the good people and the bad people out there are using. So if they're 2 steps ahead of you, then you're at a disadvantage already as a woman. So you want to be careful with whatever information that you're putting online. Like I said, it all trickles down to that. And even if you put information online, protect yourself. You can't just engage with every individual that you find online. So you need to be very mindful of this. And then one more thing that you need to remember is that there are lots of online courses. You don't need to be a tech person to take some of these online courses that will teach you about cyber violence, just the simple basics. You know, I've come to realize that a lot of people are deviating. IT skills doesn't mean you need to be an IT professional. You can be an accountant, you can still be a student in school, you can still be in grade 11. These are courses that you can do online, and some of them are free. I know Tech for Dev is offering a lot of these courses online. Coursera, some might come at a charge. If you can't afford that, look for the ones that are free online. There's a lot of information online. Take time to read latest publications on journals around the cyber law, the cyber security, the cyber violence. So knowledge is power. So always make sure that you stay abreast. Even just attending a talk like this one is very helpful because then it takes away, this is free knowledge that you're getting. So it's very important that you make time for some of these things. A lot of people are out there giving back knowledge, and ride on it is very, very important.
Yeah, thank you so much for those tips. But what about like in terms of like using public Wi-Fi? Because sometimes as women we travel and then like you're in a different country, a city, your network is not active, and then you have to like connect to like public Wi-Fi. I think that can kind of like expose us. So how do you think that we can go around something like that?
So public Wi-Fi is not something that we can run away from because we are a digitized globe now. So every time you're online, you want you're in a different country. The first thing you're looking for is a free Wi-Fi. When you're at the airport, the first thing you're looking for is a free Wi-Fi. So the best you can do is actually get a VPN. You know, there are VPNs that you can install on your laptop. I was just talking about one before we went live to say, I log in 10, 15 minutes before because I have a VPN running on my laptop. And sometimes when it detects a risky connection or network, it will automatically cut me off. And this is a security feature that is inbuilt. Remember, there's a lot of artificial intelligence around most of these applications that is actually very helpful. So there are lots of VPNs that you could use. One of them is the Proton VPN for those on Apple devices. And this is why Apple devices still remain to be very pricey, is because they come with an inbuilt VPN. The iCloud has a private feature really, but not to say everybody should move to Apple. Android devices, the Windows running laptops also have other free VPNs that you could look at. There's Astral VPN, there's Proton VPN. These are very secure and some of them are very free. So you just need to ensure that you do a little bit of research on whatever VPN will work for you. So that way, every time you connect to the internet, to a public Wi-Fi, it actually secures all your information because this is something that hackers are actually using a lot. They're just there trying to see who is available. Even just leaving your hotspot on your own, this is not something you should do all the time. I see when I'm moving around and I check my phone, I see a lot of hotspots that are available, and it won't take me more than 10 minutes to figure out what your password is because I can do a quick run on an application and it will be able to give me your password and I'll log in, I'll attach to your phone, and once I have access to your phone, I can pretty much get everything I want. And now we are using our phones for pretty much everything, not only for communication, for SMS, for WhatsApp. pictures of you there. There's private information there. Your email is sitting there. So we need to make sure that we protect our devices. It all goes down to the same way we want to protect ourselves when we're in our homes. The security features that we're going to put around our homes to ensure that we feel safe and secure is the same type of security instinct we should have on all our devices. When you're going online, think of it as going outside as a woman at midnight and you're all alone and you're walking in the streets. What are you going to do? What protection mechanism are you going to use if you actually do need to move at that particular time? So these are some of the things. And when you see a risky network, at some point you even get pop-ups. Read. Let's get into the habit of reading. What is it asking for? Don't just accept and allow everything. Let's read that pop-up and see what it's talking about. You know, it's the same way somebody is knocking at your gate. You're going to ask who it is, who are you? You're going to go to your intercom and find out. You're not just going to open the gate. So that security mindset that we have, the same way we feel when you're running at night. Okay, should I get a pepper spray because I want to go out for an evening jog or early morning jog just in case? Is the same mindset that we should have when we are dealing with our devices because we need to protect them. And if we don't do that, we're exposing them as much as we're exposing ourselves. So it's very, very important that we actually put some of these measures in place. The good news is that not everything is going to cost you money because the first thing that people will ask is, what is the cost of this? How much does it cost to do that? So they are all free and safe applications that you could actually use and install on your devices, your mobile devices especially, and ensure that you're secure. Yeah.
Thank you so much. But then again, like I like how you raised the fact about like even our devices, because our devices can also like make us vulnerable. And then but then some people like they make this complaint of, oh, updates like your laptop send you reminder and you need to update your software, even your phone. And people are like, I mean, I just
Yes.
updated last week. Why should I update again? So I wanted to talk more about that. How do you think that is so important that we keep updating our device? For people like, I can't keep updating my device all the time. I feel, why? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very, very important because these updates come with security features that will allow you to secure your device. So I'll give an example of one of the attacks that happened on the Microsoft network. You know, this attack went viral until Microsoft had to create an update for it. This was on the Windows 10 operating system. So away from operating systems, every time our devices will prompt you, and some I would even advise put them on auto update. If you don't have the time to remember to go and check if there's an update, put your phone on auto update. Go into your settings and ensure that you put your phone on auto update. Why are these updates running every day? Because remember, every day there's new technology that is coming up. You could have an update in the morning, you update it. There's another one in the evening. They're spreading these out because these are actually protecting you from a lot of malware. They're protecting you from a lot of attacks. You know, there are people that are working every day just trying to recognize what new attacks are out there. And they realize that this particular phone or this particular operating system on a particular phone or handset doesn't have this feature. They'll trigger the update automatically. So the onus is up to you to get those updates because remember, you're securing yourself as well. I'll give an example of our cars. You know, we've evolved from the manual cars. There are still a few there, but these are things that have been updated. You know, and every time you go in, you don't even have to manually click on your windows for them to open. The moment you walk into your car, you sit in, it will adjust the steering wheel to your size. It will lift the chair up to your size to ensure that you're able to actually see while you're driving. So this is the technology that has evolved now. Those days you have to get to a mechanic to crack their head to know what the problem is. Now you have a small device that you just place and it will detect what the problem is. So you need to understand that technology is evolving, and the fact that it is evolving and there's a lot of artificial intelligence coming up, it's not to make your life difficult. Every time you get a pop-up on your laptop, on your device, run the update. It doesn't take away from you. If you're in the middle of something, wait a few minutes, wait a few hours, finish, leave it. If you're going for a meeting, you're going to class, you're doing something, let the update run and Yeah, and then now because in Africa, Zambia specifically, internet is quite expensive. You know, people would say, I just bought bundles. And then by the time I run another update, you run the risk of losing your information. You need to weigh your options and see what is more expensive. Is it the data? Is it the Wi-Fi that I need to run this update? Or is my information more important? And is it more valuable to me? So it should not even be a debate where somebody has to start thinking about it and saying, no, I don't want to run this update because of ABCD. So the onus is really up to you. And you need to be able to make wise decisions. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So
And that brings me to the question that someone asked to say that how much is too much to like share online? Like, now it's like Gen Zs and everything, like you're eating, you want to post online, or like everything that happens in your life, you want to post online. And you know that even people that have like partners, they kind of like do some kind of sex videos with their partners, things like that. But then they're like, no, I'm not posting that online, it's on my phone. So, like, how much is too much to share? Like, from your perspective, how much do you think that is too much that we post online or things? Yeah.
how much is too much? I'll start from, first of all, going live is something that a lot of people are doing. And I'll tell you what, I'll give an example of the attack that happened on social media in Paris of Kimberly Kardashian, where she went online posting all the jewelry she had carried, and she was robbed at gunpoint in Paris because people were able to know where she was at that particular point. So here's the first thing. You have a social life and you want to post it online. Never post anything in real time. And if you're going to go live, don't give your actual location because you're exposing yourself. Remember, you don't know who is profiling you. And sometimes you might just become an innocent victim of a circumstance. Somebody is planning a robbery somewhere and you're there exposing yourself. The people are going to think, why not kill two birds with one stone? It's a very easy decision to make. So when you take your videos you're posting somewhere, I always advise people, even when you travel out, get all those pictures, post them after you've left that particular location because you just need to protect yourself. We've seen people being killed at gunpoint because of simply posting something on social media and people know where they are, you know? So these are some of the things that you just need to be intentional about. So always make sure that don't post anything in real time. How much is too much? If you're going to expose your entire household, your children, your family, your husband, that is too much. What are you doing? Especially if you're a public figure on social media, what are you doing? You need to really weigh your options and see and make a decision of what you're going to expose online because people will know you. And remember, we live amongst crazy people. That is the sad reality. You don't know what they are planning against you. You don't know, as much as we are working hard towards our day-to-day life, as much as these people are working hard as well. So they're simply going to profile you, use some form of social engineering to get your attention because they already know what you like. They've been studying you for a few months and they know your routine. They know which route you go to use. They know which more you go to. You might think, oh, I met somebody by coincidence. No, it's not coincidence. You've been profiled. So always be mindful of what you're putting online. And if you're going to put something online, don't post it in real time. When you go live, don't give your actual location because you don't know who wants to harm you. So always be careful, be extra cautious, you know. Think of it as exposing yourself to criminals. Because the moment you have that mindset, the security factor will kick in. You want to protect yourself. Are you going to go to sleep with your door wide open? You're not going to do that. So why are you doing that on social media? You know, so just because it's online, it has pretty much the same impact as you do it. Oh no, I'm bored, I'm home alone, and you're a woman. You've posted several times where you live. If there's somebody who wants to, what is going to stop them? You've already told them you're home alone. So let's be mindful, even of what we put on our WhatsApp status, what we are exposing, what we do. Let's be very, very careful and think about it, you know. Let's be realistic about it, and especially the girls. The young girls, the teenagers are a high risk, you know. You're exposing which school your child goes to. You're exposing what grade they're in, what time you pick them up, what they are doing. If they are having sports, you're exposing the child to all those things. What is going to stop somebody from picking up your child and lying to them and telling them that, no, your parents sent me to come and do this and that? So as parents, as well as guardians, especially of the young girls, let's be cautious and careful about it. We've seen young girls being killed, and it's always every day in the news. It's very, very painful to know that some of these things could have been prevented and we could have been able to do something about it, but we didn't. So let's speak out, let's make sure people are aware. So be very careful, screen yourself with what you want to expose online. What do you want people to know about, basically? Do you want people to know about your entire life, your livelihood? If you're okay with that, well and good. But try and keep things private, like where you live. Your home address is not something that should be public information. If you have a planned trip next week, I was cracking a joke with my sister the other day. Somebody posted their ticket online, and I'm like, I'll actually go in online and cancel that particular ticket because I could see the the after ticket. I could see the barcode, and I said, you know what? Sometimes people need to learn the hard way. And I said, you know, I'll go in and I'll cancel this ticket. But then I actually called them and said, could you bring down that post? You can't do that. Because one, you're already exposing yourself. You're letting people know where you're going. One. Secondly, somebody can easily cancel that ticket. I was about to cancel that ticket because I have all the information. I know your full names. I know your date of birth. I know all these things. So you just exposing that ticket number is enough for me to go in and cancel it. And that's it. So now imagine if this was somebody out there who is just genuinely wants to make your life difficult. They will do it. So let's be careful. So it's not for anybody to say how much is too much. You need to make that decision yourself. And now we have security features on social media. If you want to lock your account, you can have a public account where you show what you want and monetize it. Then you can have your own private account where you can keep all the personal information, your memories and whatnot. You don't even need to have a friends list on that. That's the best part about it. I created an account for my daughter on social media, but nobody follows her. And even if they send the request, we don't accept them because it's purely a private account for her alone, and it's not for it to be exposed to other people. So we need to be careful and just be mindful of some of these things. Do create your content, do what you need to do, have your private life away from everything there. But if your content is about your private life, just take precautions of some of these things, where you're traveling, what you're doing. You can always post this content after you're back. Now it's the holidays, everybody's on trigger alert. You can't be shooting a video, you have your card there. I can't be online speaking right now. I have my credit card or my debit card being exposed. People are going to watch this video and I'll find my account is gone. So these are some of the simple things that we just need to be cautious about, you know. Let's be careful. Watch the environment that you're in. If you're shooting a video, where are you shooting it from? You know, so be careful. Let's all take the time to just think about certain things. The first thing you ask yourself is, am I going home to sleep with my gate wide open, my door unlocked? If you can't do that, then it's the same thing. Apply the same security principles when you're online. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like that was really, really like expository. Um, so for those like watching the replay, you can always like drop your questions and then I'll reach out to Zita. I know she'll answer and then respond back to you. So Zita, before like we go this afternoon, do you have like any final words you have to say?
So just to put it out there, you know, if you know anybody or you are somebody who is experiencing cyber violence, please report it. Like I said, I'm speaking from Zambia. I know there are these international bodies that have been created specifically to try and tackle cyber violence. So this is information that you can get online, but I know the National Cybersecurity Alliance is one of them. So if you go there, you put in your country, it will be able to show you who is in charge of that. And if you know somebody, listen and support them, encourage them to seek help. It's the same type of therapy that they need because it affects you psychologically. It works on your confidence levels. There's a lot of things that you need to factor in and document the abuse because there's remember it's the law, you know. The cybersecurity policy now has a law. There's an act against cyber crimes. So you could actually sue these individuals. So document this crime, because the good thing is that usually when it's online, it's in writing. Only that sometimes people have control over this. Get your screenshots, gather your information, report the abuse, and take action. Because the only way to stop this is by actioning against it. And the more we speak about it, there's more information is out there to say this person was taken to task because they did A, B, C, D. And for us women, let's not try to expose ourselves so much online. You know, you can't be online and you're half naked. Yeah, you're dressing up and you're online. It's all fun and games until it's no longer fun and games. Because half the time you hear these people, I know it's not our fault. We should be able to be comfortable in our own skin. But if you go out there, you're twerking in a particular way, you're half naked in a bikini, all these things, let's be cautious. You know, if we're circulating them to our close friends, that is fine. But if you put it online to the public, we don't know what twisted person is out there looking at these videos and planning to do something. And most of the time, some people unfortunately have been raped. You know, the people have been used, their bodies have been used using Photoshop of some sort, and they're appearing. You find your face is appearing on a pornographic site. So these are things that are there, and then it's hard for you to prove that it's not you, because they, unfortunately, these people are very good at what they do. They're very good with their skills. So they'll play past your face there, and that's it. You're out there, and everybody's gonna believe, oh, this is a porn star. So let's be careful. It's nice to have these videos, but do we need to expose them? Ask yourself that question. If we're exposing them, who are we exposing them to? When you're shooting videos of yourselves with your partners and you're compromised, think about, if my phone gets stolen, how is this information secure out there? Is it protected? Is there a password on this video? Is something that somebody can expose? We've had people being bullied online, and the one people will say, I'm going to expose you until you do ABCD. You know, you become a victim from that perspective. So let's just be cautious and ensure that we do what we need to do to secure ourselves. No one is saying stop taking pictures, take your pictures. But ask yourself the question, is this something that I can show to the general public or not? However, if you're in the line of business where you need to expose your body, then well and good. Again, you're comfortable, that is your profession. But if you're a professional woman and then you come to look for a job, remember there's always screening that is going to happen. And most of it will have a lot to do with your digital footprint. So control the narrative about yourself that is out there. Google yourself, see what you want out to show the public out there. If there's anything that you don't want, go to that site, take it down, block it or change the privacy settings. There's options for that on a lot of sites. So let's do that. And let's try and encourage ourselves to actually be able to do better for ourselves and stand by ourselves in terms of need. And let's also avoid the online hate speech. There's a lot of hate speech going on online. Somebody posts a picture because they are not airbrushed and whatnot. Somebody will say, pass a nasty comment, and half the time you find that it's women that are passing these comments. What are we doing to ourselves? So let's be mindful and careful of what we're posting online, you know, because it goes a long way, you know. This includes a lot of racist, sexist, homophobic attacks, you know. These things are happening a lot out there, and it's usually women on women crime half the time. If you go to social media, half the people that are posting these nasty comments on some of these pictures, sadly, are women. And the statistics are there to prove it. There's a recent journal article that came out. We say the nastiest things online, and when somebody says something back to us, then we go into victim mode. So let's try by all means to avoid that. If you don't have anything nice to say, leave it. You know, if somebody posts a picture, they are confident about how they are looking and they like that picture. You have an option to like or just keep scrolling. So let's try and just be intentional about some of these things that we do online, because then it will circle back. And this is why people now are fighting a lot online. And when you see cyber violence, you see somebody has said something really mean about it. Don't don't add more firewood to the fire. Let's report these things. Get into the habit of reporting. When you see something, say something. When you see something wrong, say something. Report it. Do what you need to do at individual level, at professional level as well, because this cyber violence is not only happening on social media, sadly, it's happening even in the professional work environment. Let's not sit back and say, it's not happening to me. Why should I be bothered by this? Let's all get involved because we are looking at fighting this together and having the movement and ensure that everybody is comfortable and able to operate normally. We are beings and we are always be around each other. So let's be very intentional with what we're doing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate like you spending your time this afternoon to like do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. If there are any questions, please send them to me. But I would encourage every woman, every girl out there, look for Tech for Dev. They have these simple online courses. Check Coursera. They have these simple online courses. Just get the basic knowledge. You don't need to be an IT professional. The fact that you're on social media, and people will say, no, it doesn't affect me. I'm not on social media. You have a mobile phone that you use. Yeah, on WhatsApp at least. So unless you're living in the Stone Age, then well and good. But as long as you are online in any way, any form of way, on your laptop, in the office, even if you're not active on social media, get the knowledge that you need, because knowledge is power. It will protect you. When you go on these dating sites, be careful. When you're meeting these people, meet them in a public place. Don't invite a stranger you met online just because you've been chatting and you're comfortable with them. There's a lot of social engineering happening, and unfortunately, it has led to women not only being abused online, but physically being abused as well. So meet these people in public places. I know we tend to say we are too busy to go out there and socialize. So we want to do things online. We want to date online. We want to do a lot of things online. When you buy things online, you're having somebody deliver it, be careful. They're a delivery person, but you don't know how far they will go into getting what they want. So let's just be cautious, always think of it as protecting your home. You're going to bed at night. What are you going to do? You ensure the door is locked, the gate is locked. If you have an electric fence, it's there. If you have an alarm, you make sure that you trigger it. So let's always be cautious with everything that we do online, because security has moved online. It's no longer in the physical world. And these are my last few words,
Yeah.
Precious. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for having me. I'm glad to have been here, and I hope we can have a lot more talks around this.
All right. Thank you.